was the last time you checked on somebody? Not because you needed something, just because they were on your mind and you felt like you needed to see how they were doing. Friendships aren't measured by time, they're measured by truth. I've known people for over 20 years that I wouldn't trust with 5 minutes of my future. And then I met people I know for 6 months that I go to war with. And the older I get, the more I realize I don't need 100 friends. I need 100 conversations from a handful of real friends. Ooh. That's perfect. So I talked to a really good friend of mine today. We talk often, not too much, but we try to make sure that we maintain some sort of accountability with one another. We're always checking in on each other. You got to have people like that in your life. But this one I consider my dog, a junkyard dog, a savage. One of those type of people that doesn't do well in public and in social circles, not very politically correct. We haven't known each other for a lifetime, but about 6-7 years we've been close. And over the last few years, we've become really tight. Both of us are living our lives in a similar way. And this isn't just somebody who's a friend of mine because I've known him for a long time. This is somebody who's earned the right to tell me the truth. We were conversating about life and business and what we're building and what we've built, and just having one of those conversations that started in one place but then ended up way over here. That's usually how it goes when you're talking to me. I'm one of them guys that go have a conversation about life. We go drift. But somewhere in the middle of it, he was explaining something to me and it was a little off track from the last conversation that we had. He was doing something completely different than what was expected, something spontaneous. And I thought it was funny, man. We both started laughing at the same time. And he said, man, bro, I'm a drifter, dog. I'm a drifter, bro. And we cracked up, man, because I was like, damn, man, I'm the same damn way. And that's why we get along so well. And when he used that word drifter, I didn't have to ask him to explain it. I understood it. I'm living it. My mind moves fast from one idea to another. One possibility turns into 5 more. I get extremely excited about building things and solving problems, and any new problem that comes my way, I'm like, just bring it on. I love to try to imagine what's next, the possibilities, the capabilities that surround a problem. How do we fix it? Can I help you do it? And is it even a problem that we need to worry about? Can I help you come to that conclusion? Can you help me solve it? Can you help me get past the dilemma that thinking that this problem is something that I need to be hyper-focused on? And sometimes that mindset of being a drifter is what we called it at the time in that conversation. It can be a strength at times because I think that there's always an angle, a way of looking at possibilities, a way of seeing life where there's no problem that's too big. But then sometimes it's the very thing that pulls me away from where I said I was going to go. So that's what we meant when we started to laugh and talk about being drifters. Not that we don't have purpose. It's just that if we're not careful, we could get lost and our energy can go the wrong direction. And that usually happens when our attention begins to wander. I'm a wanderer, a drifter. I'm a big thinker, a big dreamer, but I take action on a whole lot of things. It's something I've been working on over the years. Now I'm in a place where I can actually put my energy into something that is exciting to me, something that I love, something that I'm passionate about. But aside from that, this conversation made me realize something. It made me realize why friendships matter so much. Good friendships, real friendships. The people that are closest to us aren't there to tell us where to go. They're there to remind us where we said we were already going. Because in the beginning of that relationship, we drew a line in the sand, not a thin little bitty line, but a wide one. So today's conversation stayed with me. It made me think about the people that I've surrounded myself over the years. Some good, some bad, some genuine, some not. I didn't just keep people around me that were always celebrating me. I kept people around me who challenged me. The ones who pulled me back when I began to drift. The ones that made me ask myself, what kind of friend are they? And even more importantly, made me ask myself, what kind of friend am I? So today really had me thinking. I just couldn't stop, man, all day today. It was the same thing. I was trying to process and piece together what I'm bringing to you right now. So today's conversation had me really thinking, man, I got some great people in my life. Over the years, they've come and they've gone, good and bad. Great relationships. Some of them you would have thought were forever, but then all of a sudden they fall over the edge of a cliff out of nowhere. And I realize how grateful I am for the people that I have in my life, how fortunate I am for those that I have in my life. Not the loud people, not the popular people, the real ones. The kind of friends that don't tell me what I want to hear, the ones that tell me what I need to hear. And shit, sometimes I don't like it. A lot of times I don't like it. But when they're right, they're right. So I started to ask myself today, what truly makes friendships valuable? Is it loyalty? Is it the time they spend with you, or the shared experiences? Maybe, but I don't think that's the whole story. There's way more to it. 'Cause I'm gonna be honest with you, I've known people for over 20 years that I wouldn't trust with 5 minutes of my future. And then I met people I know for 6 months that I go to war with. I get side by side in the storm with, and I know they do the same for me. So then I came to this conclusion in my head. Friendships aren't measured by time, they're measured by truth. Because the people I respect the most, I know sometimes they don't believe it. Sometimes they don't feel like maybe that's me. But I do know they have no problem looking me in the eye and telling me that I'm wrong. Not to embarrass me or to win an argument, but because they care more about me than they care about protecting my feelings. Those people are rare. And if you got them in your life, you better protect them with everything you got. Protect that relationship. Hold on to it. It's a struggle. It's a fight. It's raw and it feels uncomfortable. But those relationships are important. Because I'll tell you from experience, there are people out there who will clap for you even when you're going in the wrong direction. It's because they don't know. They don't know where they're going, just like you don't. And they're afraid of confrontation. But the ones worth keeping are the ones that will stop you in your tracks and say, whoa, 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 man, hold on a second. Let me remind you of something. Remember what you said you wanted to do. Remember what your hopes and dreams were. Remember what your passions were. Remember the direction you were going. You're drifting. Get back on track. Even if it means that it will cost them the conversation. You know, when I was younger, I used to think loyalty was just standing beside someone, fighting right alongside of them. That meant loyalty. But man, I stopped believing that a long time ago. Loyalty ain't helping somebody stay broken or broke. I'm gonna stay by you, but we're gonna stay broken. I'm gonna stay by you, but we're gonna stay broke. I'm gonna stay by you, we're gonna keep getting in trouble. I'm gonna stay by you, we're gonna keep doing the things that are catastrophic to our future. But them loyal friends that help you get better, even when that shit's uncomfortable. But over the years, that's the kind of friend I've tried to be, the one that I've tried to become, not just the one I'm trying to find. You attract what you are. Some of the best friends I have and I still have to this day couldn't be more different from each other. Some were polished, some were rough around the edges, some were broke, some were poor, some wore suits, and some were gangsters. Them junkyard dogs, them savages. It's about people. Some wore work boots. Others had tattoos covered all over their bodies. Some had money, some didn't. Some were driving a rocket ship, some in a bucket. I've had friends every walk of life, but none of those things define them. But my favorite is them junkyard dogs. I don't mean that with disrespect. I say it with admiration. If you know, you know. They're not always the smoothest people in the room. They don't fit into the social circles. Definitely not polished. Downright savages. That's my people. Let me tell you something about them junkyard dogs. They're not there to protect your feelings. They're there to protect you. And if you think about making a bad decision or you drift, they're going to tell you. God, I love them people, man. I love them kind of friends, man. Please tell me the truth. If you're starting to drift, they come after you. They come get you. Not because they enjoy a fight or a confrontation, but because they refuse to watch somebody they care about walk off the cliff. They're not afraid to make you mad. They'll risk it. They're not afraid if you hang the phone up on them. They'll risk that too. They'll risk not speaking to you for a while. Here's what I love about having those kind of people in my life. And I hold on to them and I protect them, because losing the friendship is a price they're willing to pay if it means saving you. Come on, man. Oh, man, how could you not want these people around you, man? I know they make you feel uncomfortable. Keep them close. Keep them next to you. Over the years, I've accumulated quite a few people like that in my life. And I've lost friends because I try to be like that with people. And sometimes they just hang up the phone, never to return again. And the ones that I got like that in my life, I try to learn from them too. Every single one of them. They all made me better. Not because they always agreed with everything I had to say, but because they loved me enough to disagree. Now, I'm not saying go hanging around with a bunch of savages. That ain't for everybody. That's not an everyday friend. But when life gets noisy and your judgment gets clouded, and when your ego starts talking louder than your character, you better hope you got one in your corner. And that leads me to what it is that's important that they bring to the table. And that's truth. Truth ain't always about being right. Anybody can be right. That doesn't always make what they say useful. I've met so many people that use honesty like a weapon. They say things like, I'm just telling the truth. And that's true. Maybe they were. But the truth without understanding could do way more damage than a lie. The people I trust don't just know the truth. They know me. They know where I've been. They know what I've survived. They know what I'm trying to become. And because they know those things, they know exactly how to deliver the truth so I can receive it. That ain't manipulation. That's wisdom. I think a friendship doesn't just become stronger because you say hard things. It becomes stronger because you've invested enough time in each other that the hard things can be heard with clarity. And just like every other relationship you have in life, friendships require a line being drawn before they ever become established. But over time, if you do it right and you build a relationship and you actually get to know each other through transparency and humility and integrity and accountability, strong communication, and the willingness to listen before you speak, that line is thicker than just a stick in the sand. It's wide, and inside that line are shared experiences, victories, failures, conversations, disappointments, forgiveness, moments where trust was earned one decision at a time. And that's where that shared understanding lives, not in words, but in the history, that historical data that you've written, that you understand each other and you can read one another. That's why it's okay when somebody who knows you well tells you the truth about something that you two already established as being the truth. You're drifting. Come on back, man, I got you. Even if it hurts your ego and your pride, like, wait a minute, you just shit on me, man. I thought I had the brightest idea. I thought I was going the direction I was supposed to go. No, line it up. So when somebody that knows that history looks me in the eye and says, you're going off course, man, I'ma listen. Not because they're louder or smarter, but because they earn the right to speak into my life. And the truth alone doesn't earn that right. That relationship does. And once that relationship exists, then the truth has somewhere to land. And when you trust somebody like that, trust is going to ensure that truth sticks the landing. And honestly, today's conversation, it seems like it's revolved around friendship, but it's not. It's more revolved around responsibility. It's a responsibility that we have to the people that we invite into our lives. And the bigger responsibility that we have when someone invites us into theirs. It's a shared understanding where trust favors truth. And trust is such a hard thing to establish with a person. And you think you got to spend a lifetime with them. You think you got to know them since you were a kid. Or you think you got to make a whole bunch of money with them and be successful with them in order for you to gain trust and see their work ethic, et cetera, et cetera. But really, that trust isn't built in the big moments. It's built in those ordinary places. The phone calls, the check-ins. When was the last time you checked on somebody? Not because you needed something, just because they were on your mind and you felt like you needed to see how they were doing. That's where trust is built, in those conversations that nobody ever hears, because it's between y'all. You know them conversations I'm talking about. I'm calling people all the time. I cold call people all the time. You're going to get it. And it's not always to be sunshine and butterflies, man. It's to be like, hey, man, how you doing? If something negative comes out on the back end, I'm going to let you know, man. Hey, don't you remember who you are, where you're going, what your dreams are, what we discussed, the people you care about, the things you're passionate about, how you might feel inside? Remember that. Stop worrying about just the outer shell. Think about what's on the inside before you decide to tell me the truth. So yeah, I'm gonna call you out of nowhere and I'm gonna tell you whatever's on my mind. Maybe it's something that you need to hear, not because it's easy, but because it matters. And I know it matters to you. And I've known for a while now, if I want friends like that, I gotta be that friend. I need friends like that. I can't expect honesty from people if I'm making them pay the price for telling me the truth. I can't expect accountability if every time they tell me something, I become defensive. And I've been known to be a defensive person. And maybe that's why real friends are hard to find and they're so rare. Not because good people are rare, but because that kind of relationship takes time, man. It takes history. It takes forgiveness. It takes understanding, communication. It takes transparency. And it takes a conversation that most people aren't willing to have. And the older I get, the more I realize I don't need 100 friends. I need 100 conversations from a handful of real friends who know me well enough to know when I'm beginning to drift and care enough to help me find my way back. So to sum it all up, man, the greatest friendships aren't built on agreement. They're built on understanding. Understanding creates trust, and trust gives truth the opportunity to stick the landing. And truth given by the right person at the right time for the right reasons can change a life. And I can only hope that I'm becoming one friendship, one conversation, one cold call at a time, that kind of friend that can be trusted with the truth. Because I know I'm grateful for the people who've been that kind of friend to me. Damon Alexander Fonsalowski.